Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe to this finance channel, and also subscribe to my sports channel if you're interested. Today, I wanted to talk about crude oil and how I believe there's going to be a correction in crude. Now, I have been short this, I have been a little banged up in this position, but I'm pretty sure that it will come back. And eventually, in a few years, I'm probably going to be shorting this again. I do plan to go long though, after hopefully hopefully get a decent correction in the price of crude. So right now we have all of this geopolitical tension going on uh, with Ukraine and Russia. And in my opinion, the oil prices are being bid up right now to a level that where they shouldn't be. Now I do believe we're going to have triple digit oil in the coming year or two. But I don't. I would be a little surprised if we see it now, unless there is a geopolitical situation that brews, and because of that, oil prices just shoot over 100. I'm looking at the technicals. I'm not a technical analyst, but I'm just looking at a few things here. Number one, the RSI seems to be overstretched, and then it's over 70. Two, I'm looking at the MACD. The MACD is showing a divergence, and because of that divergence, you're probably going to see a pullback in the price of crude. Now, looking at other aspects, some people may say, hey, oil futures are in backwardation. That means that the front month of the futures contract is what, $93, $94, whatever it is much greater than the months out ahead. That's backwardation. Some people say that's bullish for oil. Now, I am bullish after this pullback, and the reason is look at our inflation rate right now. Currently, inflation was at its 40-year high year over year, and that's pretty intense. So, in my opinion, what's going to happen is you're going to have all these hedge fund guys, all these speculators, they're going to be going into riskier assets. Now, I told you that eventually this inflation will turn to deflation. People are going to say, how? How are you going to turn that inflation to deflation? Just raising rates 3 times a year won't solve the issue. And I understand that because some people say, hey, in the 90s, the rates were 6% before the economy topped off. In the 1980s, it was 20%. And then same thing in 2007, 2008. They raised the Fed funds rate to 5.25 before all of this started to unwind. And all that needs to happen is there needs to be an oil shock. There's an oil shock, you could turn the economy from an inflationary spiral to a deflationary spiral, just like that, and happened in 2008, where oil went from $140 a barrel to about 30 some dollars a barrel. So I'm just looking at that, where in the next few years, if we get over $150 a barrel, our economy, in my opinion, will not be able to handle that, and we'll go into a deflationary spiral. And I'm already seeing signs of deflation in the euro dollar futures market, which I've explained in numerous videos. So, long story short, besides all of the factors, besides the technical aspects, you could just look at the relationship that bonds, long term bonds, and oil has had. And I noticed the other day the TLT rallied, which is the long bond. I think it's like 20-year bond. And regardless, it had a reversal intraday. It was down significantly and then just rallied back up. And if this trend continues for bonds, then in my opinion, you're going to see other assets that were trading in line with it, it'll follow through. So oil was going up while bonds were selling off. Now people, sophisticated money, usually the institutions, were buying these long-term bonds. So I expect that pullback to come very shortly in crude oil. There's going to be a lot of headlines this week with Ukraine and Russia. So I'm going to eyeball that carefully. And if nothing happens, hopefully nothing happens, then I expect crude oil to drop down. I just want to mention this is not investment advice. This is just me speaking my own opinion. So just remember, whenever you are putting on a position or a trade, investment, etc., make sure to do your own due diligence. Due diligence. All right. Um, yeah. So this is what I think is going to happen, and I do expect better buying opportunities for crude. Right now, I don't think this is the best time to buy crude, to buy oil stocks. Just my own opinion, once again. And the other thing about crude, I remember in 2007, 2008, oil was like $60 a barrel in 2007, then went to 145. So crude oil could just go like that within a year. It could go back maybe to $70 a barrel, whatever it is, and they could go up to 150 within a year, year and a half. And that's how you could have this oil shock. And this is what I expect in the coming years. An oil shock will lead to a recession. It didn't happen in the 2020 stock market crash. There was no oil shock there. That was a different type of recession. But if you look at 2007, 2008, oil shock. Look in the 1990s, you had an oil shock. You had two oil shocks in the 1970s as well. So this is what I expect. And yeah, let me know what you think if you are following crude. And I'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks. Bye.